So
Senator,
I want to be sure I understand. You're the assistant director of the FBI. You've decided to investigate the Trump campaign. You get this dossier, which, whether you admit it or not, was the basis for all the FISA warrants. You never sat down and said, I want to talk to Chris Dossier or Chris Steele. If you had talked to Chris Steele, you would have found out that his subsource was Igor Danchenko. That was his primary subsource. Danchenko was not, he wasn't from Russia. He was some guy in Washington, D.C. working for Brookings. He went to the University of Louisville. He went to Georgetown. He was buddies with Dr. Fiona Hill. He was relying on his drinking buddies. Why didn't all of you folks who are running this show say, wait a minute, this is all centered around Chris Steele. We better talk to Steele, and we better talk to this guy Danchenko.
Senator, it's important that I get this out. So if you could give me just a second.
Sure.
I am not sure that I have now read the report of the subsource interview, and the interviewee's name is still redacted in that report. So I do not feel comfortable acknowledging or confirming or denying any identity that might be associated with that person.
His own lawyers said it was him.
Here's what it looks like to the American people, Mr. McCabe. The FBI didn't even try here, the people making the decisions. You wanted to investigate Trump. I mean, this is a nominee for President of the United States. You've already investigated the other one and potentially screwed up her campaign. And so you get the Steele dossier. You don't sit down, you personally, and Comey, you don't talk to Chris Steele. You don't even ask questions about where he got his information. Had you done that, you would have found that he got it from Danchenko. Danchenko's a jellyhead. Okay, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And it all would have come apart. But you never looked. And it sort of looks like you didn't want to.
Is that a question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I can't possibly disagree more strongly with the way you framed that question. That while it is true that I never sat personally with Mr. Steele or any of his alleged sources, our team spent a great deal of effort interviewing him, interviewing other people that they thought were relevant, and trying to get to the bottom of the material that he provided. So no, we were not predisposed to investigating the president. It wasn't something we sought out to do, but we felt that the potential national security threat put us in a position where we were obligated to investigate. That's what we did.
And you expect the American people to believe that?
That is the truth, and I certainly hope they believe it.
General Flynn's been prosecuted for lying to the FBI. You lied to the FBI, and you aren't being prosecuted. Don't you think that sends the wrong message to the American people?
Senator, General Flynn's situation and mine have absolutely nothing in common. I never, ever intentionally misled the FBI or the IG under any circumstances. And I think that's probably the conclusion that the DC U.S. Attorney's Office came to when they dismissed the 2-year investigation of me.
But you weren't fired for parking in the handicapped parking spot at the FBI, were you? You were fired for lying, were you not?
I was fired as the result of a deeply unfair and flawed IG investigation, and I am challenging that termination in federal court.
Okay. Last question. Do you have any idea, Mr. McCabe? I don't think Mr. Comey does. Do you have any idea how badly you and your colleagues have hurt the FBI? I mean, the premier law enforcement agency in all of human history. And it was just a handful of you. And now when the average American gets a knock on his or her door, FBI, I need to talk to you. At least half of them are thinking, oh my gosh, is the agent a Republican or a Democrat? They probably know my party affiliation. Do you have any idea how much damage you've done?
Sir, my colleagues and I never took any action to undermine our effectiveness, undermine our oath to this Constitution and the American people and the work that we did for the FBI. I deeply regret how politicized the FBI has become in light of the rhetoric and the relentless attacks levied upon it over the last 4 years. And I have great faith that my former colleagues will continue to do their work and ignore those sort of baseless attacks.
Well, at best, what you and Mr. Coleman and the others did, at worst, it was intentional. And I don't know what's in your head or your heart, but I can tell you what it looked like to the American people at the very minimum. An incompetence tsunami. And they're thinking, how did these guys make it through the birth canal?
Yeah.
That's all I got, Mr. Chairman.
And there you have it, folks. 10 mind-blowing revelations from this Senate hearing. From disputed dossiers to mystery sources, this hearing had it all. The big question remains, what does this mean for the FBI's future and our trust in our institutions? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button and share it with your friends. Until next time, stay informed and stay curious.